Hello and welcome to Oman. We're here trying out the new Audi Q8, the sportier cousin to the top dog Q7. So what is the Q8? Well, it's shorter, wider and lower than the regular Q7. It still has a 3-litre turbocharged V6 pumping out over 300 horsepower. It is pretty expensive. Prices start at about $81,000, so just over 300,000 dirhams. And some of the cars here have options touching 400,000 dirhams. But the idea is that this is a Q7 with a bit of style and a bit of grace. Let's take a closer look at how it is different. So the Q8 is meant to hark back to the original Ur Quattro. I know it's a bit of a tall ask, but it actually does look a bit like it if you squint a lot. It's also got this sort of black exterior trim, and this panel here, which is actually white but actually is black, and what it is where the headlight really sits, so it's blacked out. And of course the distinctive LED C-shaped signature above that. Oh, that is quite a handsome looking front. It's got the frankly massive Audi octagonal grille, but it is very distinctive. If you see it coming behind you, it will get you out of the way. It's also got a very distinctive Samoa orange paint job. So the Q8 is shorter, wider and lower. But how do they do lower? Because it looks the same height. And the Q7 is a bit of a frumpy thing. So what they do is frameless doors. Yeah, it has no top to the door panels, which makes it quite coupe-like. So doing that, they allowed them to lower the roofline. Very clever. It is a bit wider. It's about a few millimeters wider. That helps with basically performance in terms of handling. Obviously the car has the same engines, but it turns in a bit tighter, and it's got rear wheel steering. Standard wheels in Europe are 19s, but in the Middle East we start with 20s, so they clearly know what we like. These cars are all on the optional 22s. The ride is a little stiff in places, but I can't complain too much. What I really like is the back of the car, where you really see that Quattro influence. So that's this big black, I promise you it's black. This black strip right back to the original Quattro. I'll see if I can find a picture of the original Quattro to throw up now. And the rest of it has, of course, the now signature Audi LED lighting, which goes all over the car. They call it animation. And I think that's fairly fair. The car is quite distinctive. So it's got a very coupe-esque red roofline, but it doesn't have coupe-esque headroom. It actually has pretty decent headroom, as you'll see inside. Let's see what the boot is like. Ooh, can't even find it here. It's all so dirty. There we go. So as you can see, decent boot space for your luggage. Not as much as a Q7 obviously, but decent. And of course you can drop the car down with ride height with air suspension. All right, let's see what the rear passengers experience. This isn't a car for carrying passengers, but lots of people will do it. So how does it fare as a passenger car? Well, I've got loads of leg room. Seat position is quite good. The squab is a nice height. We've got the usual sort of armrest, etc. Doesn't have any rear seat entertainment, which is quite surprising. I'm sure it's an option that you can buy somewhere. Luggage nets to keep iPads and things. Headroom. Now my colleague Shazad probably would just about fit here if he slouches, but if you're over 6 foot, you'd bump up here, even though there are little cutouts in the double bubble roof. But yeah, about 6 foot is about as tall as you'd want to be in the back of these things, which is no different from a BMW X6 or a Range Rover Sport. Actually, have plenty of good headroom in the back. So yeah, but it's a penalty you pay for the fashion element. It is quite nice inside. These are all perforated seats. They all look very good. They're all very supportive. Yeah, you may think it looks like a big Q5, but actually it feels like a really luxurious place to be in that traditional German way. But the real surprise is up front. Let's go check out the driver's seat. Audis have been accused of being a little bit bland and a bit identikit. All the cars are starting to kind of feel the same, whether it's the Q5, Q3, whatever, they all got the same Audi interior, all finished to a very high standard. But the Q8, this is different. So before I begin, what does this car really compete with? Well, I'd probably say the idea is the X6, the Range Rover Sport. But when you get in, it feels a bit more like a Range Rover Velar. So the seating position is nice and low. I'm very, very comfortable. I don't get comfortable in many cars, but I got plenty of headroom. I'm really good. This steering wheel comes out a long way. All the push mod cons. It's a really nice seat. Of course, it has heated, cool, massaging, all those functions, as it should. It's $80,000. So in front of me, I've got the traditional Audi virtual cockpit. We've talked about it a lot. There's not much point talking about it again. Let's talk about this bit, which is the dashboard, which is this lovely piano black finish, which is going to pick up all the scratches in the world. And it's going to just look like really weird and smudgy. See, it's already smudgy now. But let's focus on the positives. So all of this is piano black and plenty of room for, your mobile phones. There is a pad here, I believe, for charging. I'm not quite sure where it is. So right here we got your gear selector, which is still this Audi monostable. Not my idea of a good time, because you never quite know if it's stopped or whatever. So park, don't move along, stay. So we've got two screens here. Go away. These two screens, the lower one, what does it do? It's HVAC, and all it does is HVAC. So you can have your control the fan speed, etc. You got little haptic touches, but you notice every time I touch it, it leaves a fingerprint. So you'll be wiping it a lot. But rich people, I'm told, don't perspire. So you've got AC and all of the gubbins. Drive select is down here. This is a weird drive select. So drive select controls all of the various modes like off-road, sport, and dynamic. Up here is the main screen, the old screen that you're used to, and it's still MMI, but it's all in this modern Microsoft kind of style where it's all identical boxes. So radio, media, it's all beautifully animated, and you have shortcuts on the side so for the same things, it's telephone, etc. And navigation, which is a nice crisp screen. Look at that, Google Earth. Can I spin it around? Yes, I can. So it is quite modern and up to date. But this screen is where all the action is, because I kind of don't like it as much as I want to, because I have HVAC down here. I'd rather have knobs and buttons. And then you got drive select, but the action happens up here for comfort and efficiency. So what does this car remind you of then? Range Rover Velar, which only has screens. And I think the Range Rover started something that everybody's going to copy now. Everybody just wants to do these double screens. Other than that, it's really not that offensive. It's pretty straightforward. It's easy to pick up. I think it's definitely targeted at somebody my age, like 35 and younger. Older people are going to look at this car and go, there's way too much stuff happening here. Other practical things before I leave you, you've got the massive panoramic sunroof up here. And generally this is a nice, well put together cabin. Feels really good to be in. It feels expensive. It feels like 300,000 dirhams, although this one's a lot more. How does it drive? That's next. Let's go find out. Okay, so I'm going to take you on a very quick drive of the Q8 to see what it's like. I've already shown you most of the car, so we'll get a full drive in Dubai. But this is a very important car for Audi. I still don't love this gear stick. I prefer if it was nice and simple and straightforward. But it is what it is. So what are we doing? Power. 300 plus horsepower V6. It's not the fastest car in the world, but it's quick enough. That's about 100 kilometers per hour. So it's not slow. Would I want a bigger engine? I mean, the 8-speed automatic is really good. It's, as always, a very adept gearbox. I think what I'd want is more power from this engine. So maybe something from the Audi stable. An SQ8 would be, what is it, be a 2.9 litre twin turbo V6. That was pretty quick. Maybe a V8, but Audi doesn't really do V8s anymore. The only thing I can think of really is like a 4 litre twin turbo V8, but that would be like that's the RS Q8. There you go. I figured it out. I figured out their product plan. You can thank me. Otherwise, it's pretty much a standard normal Audi. I mean, it is a nice car to drive. I was a little ambivalent at the beginning because I don't like this sort of product segmentation where we have this little coupe and then we have a SUV. But this is actually a nice car to drive. The steering is good. Nice amount of weight to it. Ride is good. I have it right now. What do I have it on drive mode? Auto. I'm going to put it in dynamic because I'm going up this hill now. Air conditioning is good. Sound system is amazing. It's just a nice place to be, and this seat is super comfortable. Super, super comfortable. All right, let's give it the beans up the hill. I'm not entirely sure you're supposed to take the beans up the hill, but let's see what we can do. See, it hangs on pretty nice. Not too much body roll. It's got air suspension, this car. Left and right can raise its height. But it's not really a sports car. It's more of just a really nice cruiser, a big GT car. And for that, it's quite successful. If you're going to the mall, this is a good car. I just went through a no entry sign, but don't worry about it. It's an empty car park. So actually, you know what? Let me back up and go around. Let me be nice. I'm in Oman. Lovely place, Oman. Lovely place. We done a little bit of off-roading. It's more of a dirt trail. Yeah, I'll put this back into comfort. The steering is really heavy. In comfort, it's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. So, if you've driven the current crop of Audi, this drives like them, but it's a little bit sharper, it's a little bit meatier, it's a little bit more tangible. It's all software, isn't it? You will not be unhappy with this car if you spend 300,000 dirhams or 375,000 for this actual one. It's a nice place to be. Is it desirable? I think so. I think so. Although I haven't driven the new X6. But I really want to get this car out and give it more of a proper testing in Dubai and see how it does. But based on this little snippet of drive, I'm quite happy. Thanks for watching. This is Imthishan. This is Motor Middle East. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Till the next time. Bye-bye.